Guys, we found out where Halloween 2020 is filming, but first I gotta show you this little kid wearing a Michael Myers mask. Like 8 people have sent this to me, which shows me that my brand is on point. But isn't he cute? I like his little mask. It's like half the size of his body. Oh yeah, so like I said in my midsummer review, I'm still working on the video about how Michael escaped the basement at the end of last year's movie. It is getting to be a lot longer than I thought it would be, which is good. But in the meantime, we have this new news to talk about, so I figured I'd do this video first real quick. Anyway, the good people over at Halloween Daily News put up an article today featuring a Facebook post that they picked up in a group called Keep NC Film. They're saying they're very confident that next year's movie is going to be shooting in Wilmington, North Carolina. Obviously, that's not Charleston, South Carolina like I thought it was going to be, but if you look on a map, it's only about 3.5 hours north from there. When I heard this news at first, I have to say I was a little bummed about it because last week when we heard that David Gordon Green would be coming back for the sequel, I figured he'd shoot it in South Carolina again. The big reasons for that are not only that he lives there, but his production company is based there, and pretty much everything he does is based in South Carolina, at least in part, so I figured he'd want to do a sequel to last year's movie there if he was coming back. But after doing some research into Wilmington, the choice does make a lot of sense. First off, it's not like some random place they're pointing on a map and just saying, let's shoot there. It's actually a well-equipped city for filming. For example, movies like The Conjuring, Iron Man 3, Silver Bullet, Maximum Overdrive, and the Swamp Thing TV show over on DC Universe were all filmed in Wilmington. There's also a huge tax incentive to shoot there, which we just heard about when Swamp Thing was canceled, and knowing the small budgets Blumhouse likes to use, why not shoot in a place that's gonna influx a bunch of money for you? It just makes a lot of sense. It's a little bit of extra cash they can use to shoot next year's movie, and I'm all for a bigger budget. And best of all, my friend and Discord mod Grayson, who lives really close to Wilmington, told me that it looks very similar to Charleston. Now, if you're from Wilmington or you're from Charleston and you don't agree with him, get mad at him, not me. He said it. All jokes aside though, that makes me feel better about the production moving because it's only 3 hours away after all. And of course, even though neither place really looks like a Midwest town, we've never really had that in the entire Halloween franchise, so I'd rather have some visual consistency when possible. That's the second most important thing to me after, you know, making Haddonfield look like it's actually in Illinois. I also think this inadvertently tells us a couple things about the sequel. I'll talk about this more in another video, but one theory I've seen a few times on my channel is that the movie is going to move outside of Haddonfield like they did with H2O. Knowing what I just said though, on top of the fact that Jamie Lee Curtis, Judy Greer, and Annie Matichak are all coming back, I have a strong feeling next year's movie is either going to pick up shortly after last year's movie or right at the end of it with Michael getting out of the basement in some way. Another cool thing the Facebook post also confirmed is that Blumhouse is in fact looking to shoot this movie just a couple weeks after Labor Day, which is really soon. The best part about this though is that they say production offices will be opening in just a couple weeks, and that's when we'll finally be getting an official announcement from Blumhouse and Universal. Yes, it's only a couple weeks away, guys. I hope this rumor is true. One downside to the fact that they'll be shooting so soon after Labor Day though is that there won't necessarily be leaves on the ground and it won't really have its own natural fall atmosphere. Now of course, I'm assuming that will be accounted for like it was in last year's movie. It's just kind of a bummer that they can never really match that intro to H2O. That's honestly the best part of that entire movie for me, that it feels so much like fall. There are very few Halloween movies that actually have that feel. Halloween 6 is one of them, and I guess Halloween Resurrection. It's kind of crazy how all my least favorite movies in this franchise have the fall feel. But hey, what I'd really like to see them do is match the feel of the intro in Halloween 4, so let's hope they have a big bag of dead leaves and a bunch of Halloween decorations they can put up all over the town. Going back to the rumor that we're going to be hearing an announcement soon, I really hope that's true because I saw Jason Blum's tweet about Yip Yap or whatever last week, and I just want to know that this is real from an official source. Is that too much to ask? But once again, it looks like Universal is just going to drag their feet and telling us things we already kind of know, like they did with the trailer they showed at CinemaCon and then with the second one they showed at Comic-Con. That sucked. It's a real bummer, but maybe they'll understand one day that fans actually want to hear about this stuff. There's actually 2 Halloween stories to talk about this week, since NECA has been showing off these new toys they came up with that are basically slasher villains in the style of old Scooby-Doo cartoons. They look awesome. The first wave, which is coming out soon, includes Jason, Freddy, and 2 different versions of Pennywise, but they also talked about a second wave that has Pinhead and Michael Myers in it, and the Michael Myers one looks absolutely phenomenal. Like, I'm gonna pre-order this thing as soon as I can. He not only has a 2-tone plastic butcher's knife that looks amazing, amazing, but it also looks like he comes with the pumpkin from the beginning of Halloween 2 that breaks open to have a skull, but it's also in that cartoon format, and I love that so much. I have this like little pumpkin that came with the 2018 Michael Myers that lights up. I like these small little accessories that NECA does. Is this gonna focus? Yeah, there you go. Doesn't that thing look awesome? I like that the battery still works too, even though I've left it on for like a month. So coming up from them, we not only have the Scooby-Doo style Michael Myers, but we also have 3 Halloween 3 Silver Shamrock little kid dolls that look amazing. But we also have a Michael Myers from Halloween 2018 in cloth clothing that looks incredible. I am so excited for all of it, and I am not excited to spend all this goddamn money, man. It's gonna be crazy. But now you guys can help me pay for it all by subscribing and turning on the notification bell when you do. And when you see that notification come through in your email, do me a huge favor and watch through the entire thing. My videos work really well if you just play the audio and listen to them like a podcast, so I highly suggest you try that out. Also, let me know what you think of all this new news down in the comments below, and I think that about covers it. So as always, my name is Jimmy Champane, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.